I start the topic of this video, I want to wait for people to get into the live chat. I want to thank everybody for the last video that I did. I ended up putting it on private and everything because I want to keep all the comments from people, so I want to thank you for that. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing as far as videos, but I guess as you can see, it's obviously something I can't just stop, even though many times I want to. So if anybody wants to support my channel, you don't have to. I do have a Patreon account. The link is in the description. With both my channels combined, I make about $6 in ad revenue and probably $8 in PayPal contributions. So I'm not doing it for the money, I can promise you that. But before you dislike this video by the title, there is a method to my madness always, and I actually do legitimately want to thank them. So I'm not one of those people that puts clickbait video titles up to get people, because, you know, to me that's just being dishonest. So I really do want to thank them, but not for the reasons they would probably expect or hope. Thanks to the woke media, my wife and I are saving tons of money. We don't go to the movie theaters anymore. We don't subscribe to things like Netflix and Disney Plus and Hulu and Amazon and HBO Max and all of those sites. We haven't watched the news in years, but now we're not even, it's been probably months since I've even watched a Fox News clip, because I won't even go with them because they may not be as woke, but they are not anyone to listen to as far as my opinion is concerned. So my stress levels have gone down, my anger and depression has gone down, because yes, I actually, in the past 2 years, I've lost a lot. I'm sure many of you have, and I don't care how strong you are, it's going to take its toll. And a lot of us don't want to show that side on videos. I try to be as real as possible, but I'm not going to be, you know, Mr. Debbie Downer. But I'm not one of those people that's going to pretend life is wonderful if it isn't. You know, if it is, you know, God bless people, or Allah bless people, or Cabbage Patch Kid bless people, whatever you worship. People that are having a great success over this past 2.5 years of what's going on. But because companies like Disney and Warner Brothers and all these other movie studios are making all this woke garbage, I'm not spending my money in the movie theaters. And they're putting on all these woke garbage TV shows. I'm not subscribing to any of their apps. So I want you to think about, yes, do we all miss probably going to the movies and stuff that we did a couple years ago? Probably. But considering how much inflation has gone up, and by the way, I've been warning people about this stuff for over a decade. Unfortunately, we are only at the tip of the iceberg. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But as I've always said, never live in fear. If you have prepared all this time, you're just not going to have as many conveniences as you did for a while. But even though I lost my business due to this pandemic, I lost my ability to do some things that I love, I know it's going to be temporary, and even if that means 2 years or 3 years, in the grand scheme of my life, if my goal is to, what I've been preparing for years, to have set up so when these situations arise, I won't have to worry. You know what? Sometimes you got to take a step back to make 2 steps forward. So I'm okay with that. You know, some people have much easier lives and things just go their way. That's just part of life. My thing is, don't focus on other people that are going to make you angry or depressed or jealous or sad or whatever, because it's not healthy for you. And I know people want to get back to the way things were, but I don't see that happening, if anything, not for a long time. So if you focus on the past, you're going to live in the past, and you're never going to have a good future. You got to focus on the now. Now, if you've been watching my channel, I know many of you have for over a decade, because I've been doing this since about 2010. This particular channel since about 2012 or 2011. I don't even remember anymore. You probably have been preparing for this kind of situation. Now, things don't always go as it seems, but you never know what tomorrow brings. So do not give up hope. As you can see on my last video, and like I said, I made it private because I want to keep all of the comments and everything, because it's just beautiful, some of the things that you wrote. I mean, I even had a person, and I wish I remembered his name, but he said he was in prison and actually had, which he's not supposed to have, but he had a phone in the prison. I'm not judging, but said that he would actually watch my videos. So, you know, at least he was using it for some good. So, you guys have been amazing, and I have, even though I don't respond to the comments, because sometimes it can be just overwhelming, and that's why I got burned out at one point, because at one point I was getting so many comments I just couldn't keep up, and I was spending all day trying to respond to each and every one of them, and then I just couldn't do it anymore. But we have to see this whole situation in a positive light if you want positivity to enter your life at some point. I know there's a lot of tragedy, you know, throughout history people die. There's nothing we can change about that. One day I'm going to die, one day you're going to die, one day everybody you love and care for is going to die. It's something you cannot avoid. Focusing on it and harping on it and getting depressed over something you have no control over is not healthy. Okay? But we can focus on where we are and how we accept things and realize, because like I've always said, you need realize to realize. In my opinion, because of all the wokeness that's been going on and all of the mental and physical and emotional and economical abuse that many of us have been partaking in and having to deal with, and all the silence and all the negativity and all the evil, I think it's awoken, because I hate the word woke, awoken more people in the past 2 years than probably the last 2 decades. And if you want to find a better place, and you know how the universe works, it's all based on not your thoughts, but your feelings. Because your feelings create an energetic field which creates your universe. Whether you understand that or not, that's up to you and your path. I'm not here to force you to believe anything. The beautiful thing about free will is you can do anything you want, including nothing. You can believe in anything you want, including nothing. But for those of you who have done the research and know this is basic science at this point, we are electrical beings. We have electrical currents. We are responding to electrical stimuli. Everything is made of energy and made of molecules and made of light and made of vibration. So what you feel is how you will create your universe. So more and more people awakening means more and more positivity, which means more and more positive change. Now, is it happening overnight? No, because we still have a long way to go. But if we continue on the path of awakening, then is all the evil in the world, as bad as it may seem, if all of that evil actually helps us come to a better place, then was it really bad? Because if you think about, if every creature and every being and every entity comes here for a reason, and it's to teach you something, well, there is a thing called a necessary evil, where somebody in a movie has to play the bad guy. So if the bad guy helps the hero become a hero and do heroic things, then if not for the bad guy, the hero would have never arisen. So if we look at the negativity in this world as the bad guy in the movie motivating the hero to become the hero he was meant to be, then is the evil as you think it is? Because if its purpose was to create the hero, then it actually, not saying the evil is good, but it's the cause and effect of what happens because of it. That is what we should focus on. Most intuitive people, most spiritual people, most enlightened people, most awakening of the people probably had very bad or hard lives, challenging lives, where there was a lot of maybe abuse, whether it's physically or mentally or, financially, whether you were beaten as a child or neglected as a child or had bad relationships or just bad luck when you were a younger person. Well, that turned you into the person you are today. Think of, for example, woke Hollywood. How many of these people walk around like spoiled brats, entitled for everything? What about the billionaire and millionaire children of millionaires and billionaires, where they have everything handed to them? Do you think they're going to be, for the most part, kind and considerate and empathetic? Do you think they're going to go out of their way to love one another? Or are they going to sit there and say, well, I'm so used to getting everything I want, that's just who I am, and they become a spoiled brat? Is that what you want? So you have to think about how the ends justify the means. So I'm not saying somebody like, for example, Bill Rates, and I'm just saying his name wrong, you pretty much know who I'm talking about, and Anthony Garbauchi, and people like that. I'm not saying what they're doing is kind or wonderful or something that should be encouraged, but if what they are doing helps the world get to a better place, because we sometimes have to learn what not to do, then is it really bad in the scheme of it if you look at it from love's perspective? If there was no bad guy in a movie, movies would be pretty boring, and there would be no motivation for somebody to become a hero. So, for example, if you ever seen like the Loki storyline through the movies and the TV shows, well, if it wasn't for Loki doing the bad things that he was doing, Thor probably would not have become the hero that he became. You need motivation sometimes, and sometimes you need to be pushed in a direction. A fire can burn you, but a fire can also cook your meals and keep you warm. A gun can kill somebody, but it can also save somebody. So it is not the tool that matters, it's how you utilize it and what benefit, if any, comes from it. And yes, that's why God, or the source, or whatever you want to call him or her, I'll leave that up to you, gave us free will. But remember, everyone has free will, not just you. So somebody can have the free will to want to hurt you, or to lie to you, or to cheat on you, or to abandon you, or to disagree with you. But in the grand scheme of things, it will guide you on your path. Every person and situation you've ever encountered in your life has brought you to who you are. If you are proud of who you are, then we should thank them. If we curse them, we're actually sending that cursing back to us. You ever hear the old expression, I'm rubber, you're glue, everything you say bounces off me and sticks to you? That is more real than you will ever imagine. And you ever see the expression when somebody goes like this, you're pointing to somebody, well, 3 fingers are pointing back at you? What you project out in the universe, whether you feel it's justified or not, will come back to you, because you get what you give. If you give hatred and negativity and judgment and anger, what do you think you're doing as far as love is concerned? Are you being loving? Because if God or the source, or whatever you want to call it, oneness, if that is truly unconditional love, unconditional means just that, there are no conditions. So if you have unconditional love, then you cannot judge, you cannot hate, but you can. And that is how the control on the universe and on the people has been maintained for thousands of years. Because they get you, because of, like, for example, movies and books and stories, and throughout history, they teach you about war. They teach you that revenge is good, that it's satisfying, and it may be. But you notice we've been doing it for how many thousands of generations? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Wars do not bring peace. Revenge may feel good at the moment, but it will not help you become a good, honorable person. Because how can you be the hero if you're doing what the villain does? Justified or not. Wrong is wrong. If you steal from somebody, that's wrong. If you steal from somebody because you want to help your family feed yourself, that is still wrong. They made people like Robin Hood the hero. Well, he's not a hero if he's stealing from somebody else. He's taking what's not his. And it's very easy to take from somebody else to give to somebody else. It's a lot harder to earn it and still give it away. You know, one of the proudest things in this whole pandemic for me the past 2.5 years, I now feed about 28 stray cats. I've taken in a new cat since March. It only has one eye. When I saw it, it was starving to death. It was about a 3-month-old kitten. I was feeding the other cats. It just walked out of the blue. It had mange all over it. It literally felt like somebody poured concrete all over it. It was missing an eye. And you know what? That cat is beautiful now. We've named him Popeye. He's beautiful. And I help about 27 to 28 stray cats. Now, I don't have a lot of money. I'm on the line to the bank right now because I have $28 in my bank account. So I have to put in what I made last night, which is a grand total of $125, so I don't end up getting another bank fee. So if I was a millionaire, it'd be very easy to be generous and give things. But when you hardly have anything, can you still care? Can you still give? Can you still help? Practice what you preach. We all have to learn that. So sometimes you have to hit rock bottom, because the beautiful thing about hitting rock bottom is you can only go up from there. So I've hit my rock bottom. There were times I would sleep for 12, 14, 16 hours a day. Didn't want to get out of bed. No matter how much I meditated, no matter how much I tried to give myself positive thoughts, my heart wasn't into it. I was angry. I thought it was unfair of what's happening in the world and what people are doing. Now I'm starting to see, if you want love in your life, you have to give love, you have to feel love. And you don't have to do it, because that's free will. So I want to thank the woke media, and Disney, and Fauci, and all of these people, because they've helped more people wake up than probably any time in recent history. So I don't think it's bad. So I got to end this because I'm the next person online. Thank you for watching. Like I said, if you want to support me on Patreon, you can. The link is in the description. Like I said, I make about $6, maybe $8 in Patreon. But if you want to contribute, you can. There's no extra videos there because I do not believe in charging people for information. I have no books to sell. Thanks for watching, everybody. Give it a thumbs up if you can, if you appreciate me coming back. And leave a comment. Much love to you all. Think a better way.